are live here at Old City Hall where the Moors have returned. Sir, do you have anything to say about this matter?
Yeah. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Yeah. Sir, what do you have to say?
I just want to put it on the record. I'm not lying.
Yeah, what he said.
Moors life matters.
More lives matter. It seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter. Shot in the back, running or choked out to death on the corners. Mistakes that stays before his Sodom, says the coroner. To the yellow journalist that won awards for writing facts. For World Wide Web press stories, always calling them black. Civil rights violated, here comes C1-7. And CIA and FBI agent, brethren felons with what Big Brother once heard. Most Moors are nerds and study more than if I'm on the road, no biting curbs. Prophets of nooses are fighting for survival. Making Moors martyrs won't happen, calling us Captain Rival. Inquisitionists, governors, and secretaries of state got stateless on their tables like ribeye steak with no care, blood dripping. They eat blacks rare. Foreigners wearing 6-point badges, pretending they're heirs to the vastness of state Maghrib al-Aqsa. Stainless blood flow past a horse's brow, I swear it's agua. Demons thirst quench, stealing fire meals and organs. Psychiatry, death industry, the stars selling black orphans and half-closed coffins, cause legs are missing, killing stateless people, cancer won't even see remission. More lives matter, but it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, because it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, because it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, because it seems like black lives don't matter.
System, what system? Not gonna make myself no victim. Run down and kick them off, educate oneself and flip them. All of the titles of nationality strips them. Must grip reality in order to really grip them in this third dimensional illusion. Organized chaos, confusion, stealing your attention. Mental intrusion, universal laws, declaration of the ancients. I self-law and master from the rooftops to the basements. Loop deep to the spaceship, ever since all creations. Celestial foundations, ocean floor to the ranges, to the mountain tip, through the cosmic infinite. Basically, we are way above the shit. In other words, get in tune with spirit. Take a breath and accept mental polarity, gender, rhythm, correspondence, vibration, cause and effect.
More lives matter, but it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, because it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, but it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, because it seems like black lives don't matter.
More lives matter, cause I sing it no sound of. It gets defective when rejected, looking ass off. Just my perspective, one thing I keep to replay. All the moves that on replay until they wanna cast off. Bury them, on to the next one. Enough of them are gonna down. Use them a cast cross. Can't believe I taught me that. Can't believe I Taj Cross, Trayvon, Michael Brown, died for us to find cars. The afterlife, visited the class brawl. Who they really wanna see with the crown on high and the carbs on free? I am free and your business but your land or your country to seek your inalienable rights. The insatiable delight of knowing thyself and bringing all injustice to light. But the fight is your plight, make your sight for the bright. I'm the mic in the night, foresight for you to realize that, huh?
More lives matter, because it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, because it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, because it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, because it seems like black lives don't matter.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common sense quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Case Cemetery, February the 4th day, son of Mary, they ahead of my born day, independence and law, makes it a literal lost case, with case laws, we break them down like Jericho, keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho, I keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio, big pandemics announced over the radio, annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains, my rock face mixing with rock the hard way, I was in a lost state, prophets get me up right, brought me to a lost gate, cooking like I'm Saute, rapping like I'm Denzel, Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel, and over I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up, the stakes still high, so the race still going up, warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up, born in the manger, sworn to be savior, walk through the valley of the shadows of the death of slavery, looking for life, the book of Genesis, astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis, abstract images of past lives kicking in, danger, running for your life, finishing.
Moorish or Moor, key man or oracle, using trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost and metaphorical, holy books of metaphysics, facts like a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali Craig, calling them Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brainwaves, squash my heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence, they are feminists, stomped on by elephants, won't like what prejudice, but want Moorish benefits, when you feel the cold magnetic resonance, apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent, great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again, use energy right, not put spell effects on men, wandering the earth plane with no veiled shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades, it's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets, holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday, war ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Islam Moors. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. It's been a while, but it's not really over like that. Sometimes you just have to detox a bit. You just gotta detox a bit. We want to introduce you to the new one that they have going around, just so you know where they're going next. Just so you know where they're going next. Right? Let's put you ahead of the game. Nobody can say that they weren't told. So this is the new one that's going to be running down. They got rid of their Black Lives Matter, and now they're doing the BIPOC. The Black, Indigenous, and People of Color movement. The Black, Indigenous, and People of Color movement. We're telling you, declare your nationality, because these people are not playing games. They're putting everything in place to stop our people from finding out who they are. Going directly counter to what Noble Drew Ali's message was, which was letting us know who we really are. Let us know that we're not Negro, Black, Colored, Cherokee, Indian, African. We're not that. And Chancellor William told us that we have to contend for recognition as Moors. But they're going to tell you about everything else that Chancellor William said, but they're not going to tell you that. So we just want to let you know where it's moving toward, because they already know the Black Lives Matter stuff is done, and they need to find something else to get our people to get on that, so that their Jesus could come and save them and all this. All right? So just be aware that these people have a move for every move that our people think they're going to make for their liberation. They have a move for every move that they pull.
Yep.
Right? Now, we also wanted to quickly just scroll through, because, you know, when we get on this, we'll be on something for 1 minute and be here for 3 hours. So before we even do that, we just want to get some things out the way. So when we do go there, we could focus.
Hold on. So we're moving on from that?
Oh yeah, we're not going to even go in there yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh no, no, no. We're dealing with that most definitely today. Most definitely. But we're just doing this stuff first, right? There's the indigenous guys, there's Aboriginal power putting out, you know, a seer, the Duke of Tears, who's a Moor. He's not Negro, black, colored, or Indian. Even though you see him wearing feathers, he's not Indian. Even though he has a long pipe or whatever like that, he's not Indian. He's not some kind of Iroquois, whatever like that. He's not any of that. He's a Moor. That's who he identifies. His family, they identify as Moors. They've never been Negro, black, colored, whatever. Ever since I know them. Right? There wasn't no Negro, black, colored. Moors. They're gonna wear the feathers and all that. And then the indigenous guys who, you know, some of them know that they're Moors, but they don't say we're Moors. They say Aboriginal and indigenous and you know, right? Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get their people to realize that, yeah, we're not Indians and all that stuff, we're Moors. But they know that they have a platform. And this is not just Aboriginal power. There's others.
Yep.
Who are on the realm of Aboriginal and indigenous, but they know that they're Moors. Even though they say indigenous and all that. Right? Everybody knows, everybody who's indigenous, they know, right? They know without a shadow of a doubt. If they're indigenous, they know Supreme Chief Holiday, if they're indigenous. Now, if I'm gonna email Supreme Chief Holiday, right? Remember, this is indigenous guy. If I'm gonna email him, if you have any issues about Moors, we'll be live to deal with anything. And his response to me is gonna be, I do not have any issues with Moors. I self-law and master Islam. Then Supreme Chief Holiday knows he's a Moor.
Mm-hmm.
You're not saying that. You're not saying I self-law and master Islam, but you're not a Moor. Just like Khalid said, Islam. He's letting you know he's a Moor. And if you have any type of sincerity, if you have any integrity, you're going to listen to your chief Indian guy who knows he's a Moor. Now, we'll see what happens after this. Was he lying? Was this some, you know, response to play games? Or was he for real, for real? Because he didn't mess up with anything. He did. He capitalized Moors, so we already know he knows that that's a noun. So that's an identity of person, place, thing, or idea. You didn't put it in lowercase. He didn't put black on it. You didn't, the Moorish Americans, none of that. He doesn't have any issues with Moors. All right, well, we identify as Moors. Noble Drawley told us in all his literature that we're Moors. All right. And then after that says, I self-law am master. And didn't stop there, finished it with Islam. This is the supreme chief Indian guy responding to a Moor. So who's he playing? He's not playing me. He might talk some BS and whatever like that, mute us while we're in their chat and all that stuff, but they know that I self-law master, and they know the greeting of Islam when it comes to Moors. And they said that openly. So if these people's leader guy, Aboriginal indigenous leader guy who has reclamation plan for them and all that stuff, and then you can go to their stuff, First American Council Declaration of Reclamation and all that, right? And you can go on their Lakeisha app and all this stuff, and they're talking about government of the United States and the Constitution and all of that. They're not talking how you Aboriginal people taught Dawes Rose and all that stuff. They're not talking about all that. They're not talking about great grandmother's name was on some paper, some European said we're Indians and all that. They just told me Islam. What you mean? Moors know that if a Moor says Islam and the other person says Islam, they're a Moor. I don't care what they tell you, but when they deal with me like a Moor. Right? If I call Dr. Kaba on the phone, Dr. Kaba is going to tell me Islam. Well, Kujo, Islam. How come? Because he doesn't know that he's a Moor? Or he's just doing that just to play games with me? Well, I didn't hear him in a lecture say that we're Moors and all that stuff. Because he didn't say Moors in a lecture, that means he doesn't know he's a Moor? Problem is, how come you don't know that you're a Moor? That's my question. Don't worry about what he's talking about on stage or whatever like that. I want to know if you honor Dr. Clark and all that stuff, and he knows that, you know, we're not black, Negro colored, we need a nationality and all that stuff. Don't tell me about he did a lecture about some Arabs and slave trade and talk about Moors and the slave trade. I'm not concerned with none of that. How come you didn't get the message that he said we're not Negro, black, colored, we need a nationality? They're going to tell us about not being Moors and not connecting yourself with Moors, and we have no connection to Moors and all this stuff. When your leader guys have reclamation stuff comes from Moors. There was nobody talking reclamation of anything before Moors were doing their reclamation of their birthright, reclaiming what was lost. No one was talking reclamation. Noble Drawley is the only one that told these Moors proclaim, declare, constitution. Nobody else was talking like that. Still, nobody talks like that. Only Moors. Only Moors. So we go on this thing that this how warped our people are, right? Their leader guy had Asir the Duke of Tears on their thing. Now, Asir the Duke of Tears is one of the Moor Avengers.
Yep.
He's not just some guy doing some lecture or some talking on the YouTube live or whatever like that. He's a Moor Avenger. You know what a Moor Avenger is? He's not just some guy out here with a fez on or dress a certain way and then you're looking at him as some whatever you look at him as. He's a Moor Avenger. So if the indigenous guys are going to rep the Moor Avenger, what are you on? What are you on? Where's your head at? I ain't worried about where Aboriginal powers head at, because he got Asir the Duke on his stuff. I ain't worried about Supreme Chief Holiday and all that, because he's telling me Islam when he sends me the email. So where are you at? You keep playing games that you don't know what's up? We know Farrakhan's a Ali and all that. We know he's a Ali. He's not going to tell you Ali when he goes out here doing stuff. At least Asir's going to tell you. At least he's going to tell you. Islam, Moor.
Islam.
I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, it's just frustrating, you know, because I listen to you, and you know, like the brother, he doesn't, you know, like the email, you know, like we heard you put the email on the record, so we know that he agrees, like he's a Moor, you know what I mean? But you know, my problem is what is that? Why not just overall just do it? I mean, like if you're in, like if you're like if your job is an athlete, if you're, you know, an entertainer or something like that, I can see you say, well, that's not my job to tell them. But okay, all right. But if you're someone in the arena of I need to uplift my people and get them out of this, we already know that the number one thing for that is nationality. So if your platform is based on bringing our people out of that, out of, you know, statelessness or whatnot, then why aren't you bringing up the whole fact that we're Moors? Like that's and if it's about the views and the subscriptions, let me know that. If it's about the note, if it's about the Federal Reserve notes, let me know that. But just don't just keep letting this go on, you know, because this is, like I said before, confusion means war, and this is confusion. What you're doing, like, because somebody else can come in here and sit and listen and see all of these different titles, Aboriginal this, ADOS, ADOS this, and now they're confused, which is war by definition. But it continues on. It just continues on, and for for subscribers, views, and notes, that's what's frustrating. Like that, I'm watching a lot, and it's getting out of hand. Like it's getting more and more and more, and it just, like I told the Grand Sheik the other day, all they did was take you guys' information that you guys all been putting out for over the years, and just added Aboriginal, Indigenous, Indian, ADOS, the whoever, all of their getting all their information from Moors. Moors are putting all of that out. You know, before they were sitting on their behinds, not doing anything. Now that Moors are, you know, exercising and doing all of this, now these placation platforms are just all over the place trying to make, you know, a kickback off of what the information the Moors have already put out. It's it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. And we're all Moors. We're all Moors. I don't like when they, oh, I don't have a problem with Moors. Bro, you a Moor. I don't want to hear that. We're all Moors. Like it almost makes, soon as I hear that, that bothers me, because that's division. We're the same people. Everything else, it that's what's causing the confusion, because they want to keep putting on these other titles. It's just more. It's just more. It's just more. Like everything else is just, as soon as you start going into definitions and doing all of that, you already know that we have issues. We start getting to, okay, that doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that. But now they want to say another, but because it's for, they got it, like you said, they have their platforms. But that's not helping us get out of the situations we're in. That's keeping us in it.
Remember your thought. Remember your thought. This is autonomous one 2 weeks ago. So this is recent. He thinks like this, right? This is recent. This is not some far off stuff. This is an Aboriginal Indigenous guy who you guys rep, right? We ain't Indians. You dudes don't even know what a Moor is. Obviously, he knows what a Moor is. So if he's going to be talking like that, and he, another one, just go on his stuff, you'll hear him talking. Just go on his thing, you'll hear him talking. If these people are in the realm of the Aboriginal Indigenous, whatever, and they are putting out of their mouth that they're Moors, my problem is now not them. My problem is the people who listen to them, because you seem to be getting every other message except the message that we're Moors from your leaders. You get every single message that every single leader has given to our people was received, except the message that we're Moors. And everybody's spoken about Moors to our people. The entertainer people spoke about Moors. People went on live TV, talked about stuff during while their basketball stuff that they love.
I was just 2 weeks ago.
Football guys gonna wear a fez at the press conference and all that stuff. They're number one football guy, but they don't know he's just wearing a hat because, you know what I mean? He's a hat connoisseur and all this BS.
Do you see the comment? Here we go with this Moors BS. We ain't Moors, period. Moor is a misnomer. Misnomer too. It just means black. Now, this is 2 weeks ago. Moors was correcting that before I even knew I was a Moor. That's how you write that 2 weeks ago. how you write that 2 weeks ago? Like that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like that's been done. Even Sarnetta don't even do that. He know. And that video is over 10 years old. Like, come on, man. And look, they take all, even when they be using like Moor is a misnomer. Like, Moors taught you that word misnomer. You didn't even know that word. You didn't even know that word. You didn't even know that word. That's one of Taj's favorite words, misnomer. Like, come on, man. Like, you got like, and we all talk the same. So I already know, like, where we get all like, come on, that's Moors talking like that. That's not Indian black guy. Like, you guys just took all your app, because we're all Moors. So that, but they're just adding see misnomer right at the tip of my tongue. I'm about to say it. They're adding misnomers, Negro colored black, Indian, all of this other stuff to try to disqualify, using our stuff against us. Like, we invented, those are misnomers. Indians, Negro colored black. They took that and set it on Moors. That's ours.
No, this one right here, Joe, Indian guy named Joe, right? Indian guy named Joe.
Okay.
They're talking about that Moors have it wrong because there's an Indian encyclopedia. So where's the Moors encyclopedia? The Indian encyclopedia is written by a European. That's why it's called Indian Encyclopedia. Because it wouldn't be called that if it was dealing with the Aboriginal and Indigenous people. And then logically, you're going to ask, well, where's the Moors Encyclopedia at? That's why we have 101 questionnaire. That's why we have CMB, Clock of Destiny 1 and 2, and Circle of Life. That's why we have Holy Quran of the Moor Science Temple of America. Because an encyclopedia gives you reference points. puts things into a certain perspective when you're studying.
Even all your books, Grand Sheik, Abdullah's books, those are all encyclopedias. Those are ancient scripts. See, because their mindset still thinking Eurocentric thinking, labeling their brothers and sisters nigger colored black. We are our ancestors' return. We're the Moors. We're Moors. Those is ancient scripts that are being written when we write. Like we're the guys. We're not Negro colored black. We're the guys. We just don't see it because we've been warped. We've been warped. We're the guys. But they still don't see it. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's been written all it's Moors write books all the time. It's been written. Moors are the art and cult of civilization. What we write is what it is. It's already been written. They said that over history. That is known. Like the brother from the East said, that is known.
That is known.
that is known. Like we're the art and cult of civilization. Brother Abdullah goes to these so-called lodges and teaches these Freemasons the true science of masonry. And before it in, Brother C. Freemanel was doing it. He's on record saying it. He was teaching these Masonic lodges in the 90s. C. Freemanel was teaching them. Moor, Bobby Hemmett's teacher, who these other guys, that's their master teacher too, but they don't want to acknowledge that his teacher was a Moor. They just killed them, all of them. And I always ask you, Grand Sheik, like, who are these guys?
Yeah.
Who are these guys? 2 weeks ago, where were you 10 years ago? What were you doing 10 years ago? Remember, C. Freemanel got videos from 93.
Where were they at in 93?
Where were you at in 93? I was born in 85, okay? So we're going to start something like that. Like, come on, because they need subscribers and views. So now we got to keep doing this. I don't even have any problems with these Europeans. None. Zero. European try to play the game with the fishing license stuff. We already know. Once I go home, it's over. No warrant, no nothing. The most problems I had was when I came home and everybody was looking all scary for fishing. And I'm like, y'all, no, none of that happened. Nothing happened. I'm home. What are y'all talking about? I'm looking at y'all. Here goes the fish. Here goes all y'all fish. Boom, boom. Fish for you. Fish for you. Like, what do you mean? We're good. None. No problems. But it's just it's all these people. Look. Not the Moorish plus one of them. Mongol Moorish headgear. So if it's Mongol Moorish, it's Moorish.
How hard is that? How hard is that? Like that's not hard to get.
We just let them talk.
That's not hard to comprehend, right? If a headwear is identified as a Moorish Mongol headwear, why are you just thinking that it's Mongol only? As if Mongols aren't Moors. I don't know anybody on the planet that was pale, European looking when we talk about the history of the planet. We'll give pale people 10,000 years, tops, on the planet. Pale people that we see today called Europeans. We'll give them 10,000 years, tops, on the planet. How long the planet been around? How long people been around? So for a fact, we know that the original people are dark-skinned people. The indigenous people everywhere in the world are dark-skinned people. All right. That's not something we're just saying. That's a fact. The indigenous people in these times are called Moors because they're the founders of civilization. They're the only people who had boats to able to go around the world after the Great Flood and all that. Dark-skinned people, Moors. Not Indians, even though they might say that sometime. Not Mongols, not Pakistani, Hindustani, and Mexicans and Moors. It's not really hard to get. So there must be something else. And the only other thing that it could be is they put it on themselves. Because no one would let someone put them under mental servitude, knowing that they're doing this, and then keep going with their servitude. Even though all your leaders of whoever are giving you all these keys and hints and points to prove to you that the Black, Negro, African, da-da-da stuff, whatever like that, that's not going to work. You need to say that we're Moors. This is what beating a dead horse comes from. Moors having to keep telling our people they're not Negro, Black, colored, or Indian.
Or Black, indigenous people of color.
No matter where you go, there's going to be somebody there with a turban on, a fez on, or whatever like that saying, hey, you know, our people are not Negro, Black, colored. There's going to be some building with some people in there with fezzes and turbans on giving this message. Right? This is the ignorance. But when their people, autochthonous one supreme chief holiday, all these indigenous guys, Aboriginal power, telling the Indians, hey, we're Indians and all that stuff, but we're Moors. What do you think they're telling you? That you're Indian? No, they're giving you keys. But if you don't want it, then, you know, they're just going to do this for views. Because they know what's up. They can just put it out and say, F all you guys. I'm talking about we're Indians or whatever. We're Moors, and they can just stick to the Moorish paradigm and do that. But they don't want to do that. Because this must be about something else. And then people get caught in it being about what it's not supposed to be about.
Yep.
Then they get caught in that. And once they're caught in that, now, well, obviously, if they were people who had a message and they stopped delivering the message, then that means the message is getting out less. Because certain people aren't doing their job. They want to play games instead of do their job. The job that they were sent here to do. They're getting caught up in games. Causing our people to suffer. But they got their thumbs up and they got their views, so everything's all right. You never hear us come on here and tell people, hey, hit the thumbs up and hit the like and all that stuff. Most we tell you is go to some people's stuff and push the down. This is not about some like something. It's about waking up our people. And if they're not about being woke, it's cool. You don't have to wake up. We're not begging you to wake up. But those who are on this, then this is who it's about. Those who got something, this is who it's about then. That's really who it's about. Right? So fair use, because people like to snitch to YouTube. when we put them on blast. So fair use. Fair use. They don't like to play with games with us. They're not gonna go complain on some pedophile videos or whatever.
Never.
They're gonna complain on us putting out information to save our people. They're not gonna some porn whatever, some ass shaking whatever. They're not gonna go tell on that, but they're gonna tell on us for just putting out the truth. People playing games out here with the birthright, and our people are suffering by the minute. And people who know better, they're not doing better. They're playing games with you to try to keep you in your dead status for a view or a like, and you're not mad. You're going with it. Might as well send the asteroids now. Send all those asteroids. Send all those solar flares to this thing right here. Because there's no way that our people could be this level of incompetent to play our own stuff or put out some perspective to make our people play their own stuff. And then when it comes to Noble Drew Ali and what he presented, so all these other grand sheiks and these people out here who don't care about Moorish movement, it's all good, right? Got the Quran there. Don't open your ears to slander and all this. But Moors murdered this man. Moors murdered him. So the least we could do is defend his name. Defend it just like the letters before every meeting supposed to be read. That this is your movement and your prophet, and it's your duty to defend this. If you say that you're a Moor and you rep nationality and all that stuff, then you better be repping for some Drew Ali. Don't tell me about your Moors and you're not repping for the prophet. And don't tell me that you're Moors and you're going to be able to go online to do all this other BS. But when it comes to defending the prophet, you're not hearing none of that. Nobody's standing up for this man. Letting people talk crazy. And want to know how come people don't respect this and whatever. Right? And the reason why we're doing this, because the Moor, not a Negro, black, colored, or whatever, a Moor was hot at how crazy this guy's talking about Noble Drew Ali. Right? That something has to be said to these people. This is not about some name or some view or some whatever. This is about, I love my prophet, and there's no way you're talking crazy about him like that. So I'm gonna yield the floor and we'll just play, and you already know. Just let me know when to yield.
Yeah,
Now you can go up like 4 or 5 minutes already.
Showing and proving, so on and so forth. These are men like you and I, or humans, who have knowledge. We're not infallible. We can make mistakes. Period, point blank, right? Now the difference on this channel, because this channel is for true spiritual seekers, you'll see at every point in our lecture series that I tell you clearly and directly that God is the true self of you. You are God, manifested, incarnated as a human being. I'm not going to go all the way in detail about all of that, but you are God. That's your true nature. That's what I teach on this channel. So the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the true self is inside of you. I'm not essentially superior to you or nothing like that. Do the knowledge for yourself. That's what I teach on this channel. Now,
we do know that's I, self, law, and master.
Followers don't like that.
Say it again, more.
Islam. We do know everything he's just saying. That's just I, self, law, and master. Like that's Islam. Like we're not. Like this is what I'm saying. Like you gotta watch him because it's like okay, look at the title. Proof that Noble Drew Ali was a stage magician and a fraud. Well, everything you saying right now, that's what the prophet teaches. You know, so like, where are we going with this? It took a while for him to well, okay, go ahead and play because I just wanted to show that similarity where the stuff he's saying right now. That's what we're taught. That's our studying. So he's not saying he's making it seem like this isn't what Noble Drew Ali taught. Like Noble Drew Ali taught go to church and all of that stuff, like and sing hymns to him. That's not what Noble Drew Ali taught. Islam.
Because it undermines the authority of their particular religious school. So they don't like me saying that. When I point out things about, let's say, what one of the things of which I'm going to do here dealing with Noble Drew Ali, to show you that Noble Drew Ali was a charlatan, like I said in past episodes, but I'm going to show you actual proof that he was a stage magician. Irrefutable proof, something you cannot deny. That is factual. Elijah Muhammad, the same thing. He was a slightly intelligent man, and he brought out some good knowledge that helped us, you know, as far as the human family. But when you start to take that literally, in the sense that this guy received, this guy or that guy, or this woman or whoever received knowledge from a mystery God in the heavens who is all-knowing, and that this person is the mouthpiece of that so-called God, what you're going to arrive at in your conclusion is that nothing that this man or woman says could be wrong. And that's not a good way to think. That's mental slavery. So on this channel, we teach
Islam.
Freedom of thought, to be a free thinker. Read religion.
Go ahead, more.
See the thing, because it's a lot of trickery, because like because the way he's laying it down, it's like, okay, now you're like, because when he put Elijah Muhammad in the same sentence as Noble Drew Ali, like I don't like when they do that because everybody's mimicking the prophet. So like, don't try to make it seem like, and then the slander of, you know, he was a slightly like knowledgeable person or whatnot. It reminded me real soon as he said that, I said, well, who are you? I have no idea who you are. Who are you? What's your credentials? Tell me something. Tell me something. Like I always put, like I study, but I always put myself like in the crevice of the corner dust, because I know I'm not nobody. What I do, anybody can do, you know, and that's what we're taught, you know. Just this, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating because I took that as when he put so was Elijah Muhammad, and he was another slightly educated man. Like, okay, so you're saying Noble Drew Ali was slightly educated? Like, come on, that's slander. And then you said he was a charlatan. Like, you're slandering, and I still don't even know who you are. Still don't even know you. I still don't know who you are. But you can just start determining who's who, what, and what's what. Like I don't get that. I don't get that. Like you might have to fast forward to like the 8-minute mark, because he really doesn't start slandering the prophet.
Yeah.
You won't see me saying nothing like that. You may see me saying I'm an individual who has the higher understanding to show and prove when it comes to knowledge. So anyway, with all of that being said, we're gonna do some more different. We're gonna do different topics, partner, as we progress.
Yeah, go to like 9 minutes. Because he's gonna start reading that article.
Us there. The same thing with Elijah Muhammad. Same thing with the Prophet Muhammad. The same thing with any of these priests that you pretty much see. They did good work in their own respect. Nobody's taking that away from them. 2, in section 2, part 9 of that particular publication of them, I show an article in the Chicago Defender, which is an old Chicago newspaper dated from May 14th, 1972, in section 2, part 9 of that particular publication of the newspaper. So I'm going to show you it right here, and I'm going to read it for you. I'm going to show it to you on the camera, right? This is the newspaper article. All right? It's a real newspaper article, and I'll get back to it. Let me read the article to you. Again, if you want the newspaper article, send me an email, Majesty Monson
He's putting to Islam. See,
Yeah.
the build up is amazing for this. Like the build up is amazing. Like to get the person intrigued into what information he got. Like watch what I read. But if you know what words mean, nothing here is like, okay, I'm glad he said what he said in the beginning, because that's our teachings, that we teach. Man himself is God and whatnot, I self law and master, all of the above, as above, so below, as within, so without. That's what we teach. But every time he goes to go slander the prophet, it's dogma. It's he's a magician, as in the trick pony thing, not by etymology, magician, which I thought we were dealing with scholarly. You got the, like everything else is etymology correctly spoken, but as soon as she goes to slander the prophet, it's connotative speaking. Now we're not using etymology and the metaphysics of words anymore. We're strict to dogma. Like he's this magician and he was able to escape. Like, what are you doing? That's not what the words mean. The words don't even mean that. The word don't mean that. Like, but the build up to intrigue, like he did a good job, man. But because I know what words mean, he didn't get me. Islam, and he's a Giants fan. I don't like the Giants.
Yeah, email inbox. So anyway, let me read it. Let me read the newspaper article. It says, "Don't laugh." I'm laughing because it's funny to me, but again, I'm not trying to diss nobody in the Moorish Science Temple. Some of the teachings are good. I'm just giving you real historical facts. This is what the newspaper article says, right? It's from the Chicago Defender in May 1927, and we'll revisit that. So this is what the article says. It says, "Don't miss the great..."
See? What happened? What's all this? What's all this acting about? What's all this?
Right now, funny you say what's all this acting about, right? As you can see, on the back of his palm, he has a tattoo of a Playboy bunny.
Right.
The etymology of playboy is schoolboy actor.
Yo, I didn't even know. Yo, come on. See?
So that's why. And again, you know, we don't need to, you know, be laughing at people or whatever that claim they're Masons and that are Giants fans. You know what I mean? We're not laughing at them. You know, this is just us putting out information, right? This is just us putting out information. We're just saying.
My sister calls them nerd jokes.
Everything.
Cause what?
She calls them nerd jokes. You guys be laughing at. You laugh at your little research that you make up like a nerd, and it makes you giggle. She said that's a nerd joke. I laughed so hard, like you guys are nerds. I was like, yeah, like it made me so proud. I was so happy. Like, yeah, yeah, yep, that's what I want to be. Like little book jokes make me laugh. Yeah, yes they do.
Oh my gosh, nerd jokes.
Nerd jokes.
Everyone and see the seventh wonder of the world, the great Moorish drama, which constitutes events in the last days among the inhabitants of North America. Let me just show you. Let me show you the article again. This is it. Like I said, I'll send it to you, right? And let me continue to read it. So it goes on to say,
I don't get the joke yet.
Moorish drama.
Yeah, I don't get it.
The need of a nationality will be made known to you through.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look. Now we don't. After nationality, now we can't read no more. Look.
Through the arts of men, women, and children, there will be great lectures in this nationalistic topic by the prophet.
Now, another thing is, where is the magician stuff coming from? Because everything I heard thus far has nothing to do with anything about magic. Now, when you check the etymology of drama, a composition presenting in dialogue a course of human action, the description of a story converted into the action of a play. Play, drama, dramatos, action, deed, spectacle, to do, make, act, perform, especially some great deed, whether good or bad. Theatrical literature, drama as art, sequence of events or actions leading up to a climax. Now keep in mind that Noble Drew Ali was also around a man by the name of Deuce Muhammad Ali, who was a master in the theater. And what was he doing? He was putting out the history of our people in plays in Europe. Go look him up, Bey Effendi. So if Deuce Muhammad Ali was doing plays, Noble Drew Ali obviously knew him because he's a Moor, and he knew Marcus Garvey. So, and he knew Mufti Sadiq of the Ahmadiyya movement. So there's no way that they were off point if all these people had this presentation. The Moorish Jews of Harlem getting invited to take part of the spectacle called Haile Selassie's coronation. Why they only get invited? How come all the other Hebrew Israelites didn't get invited? Because there was nothing else in existence called Hebrew or Jew or whatever other than the Moorish Jews in the 1920s. There was nobody else around claiming that they were, quote unquote, the black Jews, except the Moorish Zionist Jews, nobody else. And they got the personal invite to take part in the spectacle or the drama. You think a flyer from the Moorish Zionist Jews going out in the newspaper wouldn't sound just like this? That they're going to the coronation of the emperor, the same way how he's talking. Translate that as a flyer letting you know about these people called the Moorish Jews, the Moorish Zionist temple, who got an invite to go to Haile Selassie and Empress Menen's coronation in 1930. It's going to sound exactly like this.
Yep, Islam.
Islam, more.
Yo, just to add on to what you're saying, I look at it too, like now the big stretch is they stretch a lot of the fact that we need to meet the people where they're at. We need to do something that grasps the young people's attention, and to me that looks like an idea to do. But the forefront was nationality. But while you're getting this nationality, we're gonna do this, a show for you in order, because like now, you try to reach the people through hip hop or something like that. Or it's this. I'm looking at it like that's what their time was then, like another avenue to reach the people through nationality. I'm not seeing the issue with this. It reminds me of like the flyers we put out when the Grand Sheets come into your area or something like that. You put your information on there, and the Grand Sheets come in or whatever. I'm looking at it the same thing, like, but he's taking it as the connotative way, and it's causing this confusion because the whole thing is the slander campaign. Okay, so Nobuju Ali is a fraud, so we're black. That's what he's saying. See that? See how we did that now? See how we do that? Like, cause that's the thing. That's the thing. If Nobuju Ali is a fraud, we are Puerto Rican, Latin, African American, Black, Negro, because Nobuju Ali is a fraud according to him. So that means we are those brands. See that? That was my real issue, because I'm like, your title alone, like your information sucks. Like it's not even what I thought you were gonna do. Like, come on, because the whole thing is nationality is the order of the day. Like, we're not talking about anything else. We're talking about nationality. Nationality is the order of the day, and we still haven't even got to that part yet. He's not going to mention it, because they try to attack the religious side. But when we already know nationality is the order of the day. But if he attacks the Nobuju Ali, period, just like in the comments, somebody said, "Oh, I read that article before," and that was the reason why it took me away from that Moorish. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're black. Now you're still black. See, the article did his job. He did his purpose. You know what I'm saying? The article is doing his purpose, like, because nobody knows what words mean. Nobody's studying, and they're getting warped. Just like it's doing its purpose. Like, I was just amazed by that. It said it right. I think it was a lady who wrote it. I'm like, look at this, because nobody's really studying. Everybody still has a dogma mindset, and that's what he did. Remember, I said it in the beginning. He's gonna target Nobuju Ali and the whole dogma set, but at the same time, he's going to teach the whole thing is, your God himself. And that's the same stuff Noble Drew Ali teaches, but then he's going to target Noble Drew Ali like, oh, the prophet was doing dogma. Like, no, he wasn't. You're using that to fit your agenda, to push your stuff to the forefront. And then he's going to start saying, if you keep playing it, because he's going to start talking about plagiarism and all that. Yeah.
Noble Drew Ali and many of the sheikhs of the grand body of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, you will also bear one of the greatest Moorish, or you will also hear, you will also hear one of the greatest Moorish songstress of the day, M.M.E. Lomax Bey. And that's the wife of one of Noble Drew Ali's original followers. So let me continue to read the newspaper.
Yeah, you see how they label that? You see how they label that?
The prophet Noble Drew Ali will be bound with several yards of rope as Jesus was bound in the temple at Jerusalem, right? And escaped before the authorities could take charge.
Hey, Islam, Grand Sheik. Because you gotta remember the people's mindset at this time. And I'm looking at, we laughing at it, right? But this is true. Look at this perfect example. They're gonna line up galore because he said he can mimic something like Jesus, because that's the people's mindset at this time. Mm-hmm. All of these Christian, Baptist, Negro colored black people who the prophet's trying to get in so he can teach them about nationality. Their whole mindset is that in 2020 now, as soon as they say Jordans is coming out, y'all people outside sleeping outside. What do you mean? What's the difference? What's the difference? It's the same ad. Y'all still gonna line up outside. They're just saying Jordans this time instead of Jesus. It's the same ad. It's the same ad. Y'all still lining up outside. Still gonna lie, but at least Noble Drew Ali attached nationality to it. They just giving you nothings. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, look, this is exactly what's going on. They were lined up crazy because of the Jesus mindset back then. The whole thing was just Jesus out in the early 1900s, 1890s. They were Baptist Jesus going crazy at that time. Those so-called Black Christian pastors, they were doing very well at that specific time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Being banned by anyone in the audience and will escape in a few seconds. He also will heal many in the audience without touching them, free of charge, as they stand in front of their seats, manifesting his divine power. Then it goes on to say, come one, come all to the Moorish Holy Temple of Science at Community Center, 3140 Indiana Avenue, 8 to 11 p.m. Refreshments served. Admission, adults, 50 cents. Children, 25 cents. And then it says on Monday evening, May 16, 1927. This is the newspaper article. Sure historical fact. Nobody's making this up, right? This is it, what I just read to you. And you see here a picture of Noble Drew Ali in the Masonic stance, and his feet are in a 90 degree.
Why are you lying?
Yo, see? See?
Why are you lying? Anybody who studies Masonry knows that for Masons, the hand is in the vest. The hand's not being revealed. You go through any of the degrees, there's no hand being revealed. Because once you get to those higher degrees, it's more science. And if the hand is revealed, it's because they're letting you know they know, right? So that they're going to do something with it. It's a message to let you know they know. And if he's a Mason, where's his apron? You ain't got an apron on. If you're a Mason, you have an apron.
Too busy trying to show his ring.
Too busy. Too busy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You can't even get the prophet's picture in there trying to show your ring, man.
We angle the stance of a master mason, right?
I see your ring, man. We see it.
Fidelity, right? So as I explained to you, that article is in the Chicago Defender, an old Chicago newspaper, dated May 14th, 1927.
Now keep in mind, they're using Chicago Defender as a reference. So if they're using Chicago Defender as a reference, then the Chicago Defender article of Noble Drew Ali and Marcus Garvey knowing each other, I guess that's valid too then. If we're going to ride with this Chicago Defender article, then we should be riding with Chicago Defender articles across the board. But these are the same people who's going to tell you that that's not real and Noble Drew Ali didn't know him and Noble Drew Ali didn't even meet him and whatever. But Chicago Defender covered the fact that they met each other in Atlanta. And that place has gone to hell. And Drew Ali told these Moors, get your family out the South and all that. Bye, Pop. Don't get it messed up.
That the date is May 14th, 1927. And the article tells you that on May 16th, he's going to be performing to do his stage magician act on May 16th, right? But it's published, as I said, on May 14th, 1927, section 2, part 9 of that newspaper article. So just to summarize what I said, and again, I'm not dissing the Moorish Science Temple of America. I'm just doing.
You never did. You didn't read nothing that was dissing.
All of these prophets that come out, Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, Joseph Smith, whatever. Don't be fooled. Don't be brainwashed. Don't let your mind come under the rulership of individuals who are mind fucking. They're lying to you. Be a free thinker. What you see on this channel is we teach you that God is your own true nature. You don't need a fucking prophet to tell you that. You don't. If I teach you something, I don't come amongst you and say, yeah, the mystery God in heaven told me to tell you this is what he wants you to do.
Noble Drew Ali said that?
Right? I don't know what M4 Recordings is saying, but what we're showing you is a newspaper article. If you just came on the channel, showing you that Noble Drew Ali was a stage magician. He used to get on stage and make people. We're not saying that Noble Drew Ali taught about mystery gods. We're not saying that. What we're telling you is that Noble Drew Ali was a charlatan.
Yo, rewind that. Rewind it. I want to know what Noble Drew Ali did on stage to people.
You can leave the channel if you want, but it's going to be public. And what we're showing you, Ali taught about mystery gods. Right? I don't know what M4 Recordings is saying, but what we're showing you is a newspaper article. If you just came on the channel, showing you that Noble Drew Ali was a stage magician. He used to get on stage and make people. We're not saying that Noble Drew Ali taught about mystery gods. We're not saying that. What we're telling you is that Noble Drew Ali was a charlatan. He was a fraud. All right, so if you knew that, that's cool.
Good, Moor.
No, I really wanted to know the thing that he was doing. I still don't even know what the diss was that proved Noble Drew Ali was a fraud. A fraud of what? Like, what is he a fraud of? Like, what is? Do you know Grand Street? Like, I might have missed it for real. For real, I don't even know what he said. Like, I haven't.
No, he just said he's a fraud. He didn't show anything to prove that.
I don't even know what he's a fraud of. What is he a fraud of? What? I don't get it. I don't get it. This be the stuff I be talking about for views and subscribers. Cause I don't get the what fraud. Noble Drew Ali teaches if you don't do anything else. Like, so that means if we all right, you didn't get it what I brought you. All right. But I tell you this, if you don't do nothing else, okay, so that means at the end of the day, you know how you people talk about, well, at the end of the day, yeah, you better proclaim your nationality. He's saying that's the fraud, like, because that's where I'm thinking. Like, but you haven't proved that. You haven't even mentioned it. Like the article you're reading from the Chicago paper, like, I don't see how that proves that he was a fraud. Like, a fraud of what? What are you talking about? Did they say he didn't do any of those acts? Did they say it didn't work? I want that article. They said they were promoting it like he be doing this. This is what he be doing. That's how I'm like, oh, okay, that's what he be doing. Like, cause they're making it seem like that's what he's gonna do. Did anybody sue or anything for it not happening? Anything?
Matter of fact, when you check the Moorish Guide newspaper, all you have is nothing but testimonials.
Oh.
That what Noble Drew Ali said and what he did, that stuff was right and exact. Oh, we got one right here. Peace, Moor. Everything's peaceful. You aren't trying to get on this? Oh. Islam, Moor.
Islam to all Moors worldwide, galactically, while we think military, in the universe, all of it. I posted a question in the chat and then I had to call because Grant Hecky posted the link, and you know how they do up here in the mountains to me.
Yeah.
Get them through the internet. You know, they shut me down quick. So I don't know if you responded. I just saw the link and then they went bloop, and I was like, okay, I guess I got to make a phone call. Yeah, no, I didn't even get
question, it. Go ahead.
Okay. My question, and this is really a rhetorical question for those who are listening now, and more importantly, those that are going to listen in tomorrow. When I say tomorrow, I'm not just talking 24-hour clock. I'm talking about those people that come across these videos because Allah's the best of planners when you need it most. All right? So now that we have that squared, understand all of this is distraction. Because the more we stay stuck on repetitive, the same issue over and over, is the less time we could talk about new things going on right here, right now, at this moment. That said, the question I posted, when has a Prince Hall Mason ever came out plainly with information to help uplift fallen humanity? Wait. All right, so somebody might want to quote Lovecraft. Oh yeah, the second episode or whatever, he's screaming Prince Hall and this great thing. The character did not tell you jack about Prince Hall. He just said Prince Hall. To me, that's a sign to other Masons, same as putting both palms up, facing the same direction as your face, and saying the Mason code for help. That's all that is. It's a sign to those that know. And more importantly, for those that don't, it's there to confuse you. It's there to get you caught up in all this P. Diddy doing that, adrenochrome this or whatever. It's all distraction to keep you away from your nationality. Another thing I want to air out real quick, and I want to make sure it's on the record, for the record, please let it be known. Any of these YouTube scholars, any of them that are coming out and telling you detailed information, specifically about the American islands, you know, what you call the Caribbean, you know, where the preacher takes the head choir mistress, yada, yada, you know, where Christopher Columbus supposedly landed, because he never stepped foot on the mainland, if he even existed at all. Go research that. Let me just say, any of these YouTube scholars who want to talk about Del Marco, Hostos, this, or whoever, and this is what they had to put down because of the conquering European, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you found the literature from the 1800s, but why'd you stop there? I don't want to know the crap that our supposed great politicos, whatever, who got a community college, a CUNY in New York City, yeah, Lehman College, Lehman University, Hostos College in the South Bronx, okay? I don't want to know what he wrote and how he was so eloquent, this, that, and the third. Spend your time to tell the people what was going on before the European started doing what modern day at that. Because let's make another thing perfectly clear. You give away too much calling somebody a European. Because if I go to my brother out in so-called Germany right now, Deutschland, he can walk me around the way and show me manhole covers with people that look like you and me on it. With pharmacies that have established dates in the early 1400s, not 1492, early 1400s. But you still want to talk about this guy and that? You still want to talk about Prince Hall buffoonery? Come on, man. It's 2020. Wake up. What more do you need? The other day, I'm going through a list in my notes of all these different old books written by a plethora of individuals of all types of nationalities. Most of them you would call modern-day European. And then I realized that list, that's not a list of strength. That's not a list of, wow, my peoples. That's a list for dumbasses. That's a list for those who, no matter what we say, they don't want to believe. They got to hear it coming from the other side. And the other side, 90% of it, they tell you right in their books. Yo, I never took a trip. I heard these stories from those that actually traveled the sea. Then you are hearsaying your entire book. But even though it's hearsay, there's one commonality amongst the hearsay books and the books of those who actually got off their ass and ventured out to see the planet, to see our actual empire. What is that commonality? They all know the world, which the entire empire was the Moorish Empire. That's the planet. Point blank, period. So for those who still are on the fence, going back and forth between, well, are we ADOS, I want to get my check, or am I Indian this, Indian that? How many times do we gotta tell you? Go find the definitions. Go find the etymological definition. See when that word came into play. If it don't match up with how long you're saying your peoples have been around, well, guess what? That says the day before, you wasn't called that. You were called something else. So don't stop. Because you don't want to hear the answer straight. We've been saying this for years.
Mm.
Yeah. Grand, she's been saying this for a decade. Over. You still don't get it? You still don't want it? Okay. Keep playing. See what's next. You're already walking around with a muzzle, even though some supposed virus is 25,000 times smaller than the weave of your N95 mask. But, you know, put on your mask. I don't want beef at the store. No, you just want to follow along in the crowd. You want to roll incognito. All right, I understand. I've had to go out to heavily populated areas of modern-day Europeans. Heavily populated. I get it. If you got to spend a week or two out there for your JOB or whatever, you stay crashing at some hotel, whatever, go with the flow. I understand. But don't forget yourself in the process. Find that brother down the block, standing on the corner. Have something on you to call that attention. Moors don't rock regalia just to rock it to be all pompous. We rock these as signs for those of you that are still on the fence to know, hey, there's an arc right there. Yo, he got a red snapback with a green 5-point star on the head. Yo, let me go talk to him for a sec. That's why we do it. It ain't, I gotta fill up my closet. It's not, I got the latest Gucci, Louis Boom Booms or whatever. It's for you, to help you, if you want it. But I ain't forcing it down your throat. I ain't got time for that. Islam.
Islam, Moor. Give thanks.
I give thanks for you, brothers, for doing the good works. Keep it real. Because I'm tired of all these poses, fakers, and all this other BS. I don't want to hear jag about no Jaguar right or who gives an F about Mary J. Blige. I don't care. What the hell does that do for your babies? Your baby like singing a song? Sing the song. But no, you better teach them what the power of words are. Because if your little daughter's walking around at 4 talking about WAP, you the problem. Not her. Not the baby.
Say that again.
You let the baby get there. If your 4-year-old daughter is walking around singing the words to WAP, you the effing problem. I got problems with you. I catch you in public, I'm checking you. I'm not checking your daughter. Your daughter's 4. And I'm going to check you in a way that she don't know that I'm checking you. But you're going to go home and something's going to hurt. And I'm not talking about physical. Your emotions, your whole view of the world, the image you see in the mirror, that's going to burn you. And it should. I put everything on that. It's ridiculous. You want to talk about Columbus Day and let's call this should be Indigenous Day. Oh, look, they said it on this mainstream news network. Homie, show me what part of so-called state of the mainland Christopher Columbus set foot on. Oh, you can't. Why don't the so-called Indian mofos want to talk about Columbus? Because if they start talking about Columbo, they're going to have to start talking about Haiti. They're going to have to start talking about Kekesa and the Kekesians. Oh, I'm sorry. For those are Dominicans. You know, your papi chulos on 161st up in Spanish Harlem, so-called Spanish Harlem. Ain't no Spanish. This whole thing was us. Y'all talking, oh, the Seneca Indians this and these Indians there, and DeWitt Clinton has a high school. You know that? It's in the Bronx. You know why I know? There's 2 schools on that property. The other school is called the Bronx High School of Science. That's my alma mater, mother. And if you don't know about that, I suggest you go research to see what is Bronx Science. Now you can figure out who you're talking to. Because even in there, they never dropped any of this knowledge. They promoted the nationality clubs. Caribbean club this, Spanish club that, Korean club, Japanese club. I never heard nobody say anything about Nippon, Hangul, Manchurian. They didn't talk about that. Why? It was part of the experiment. It's part of the death. It's part of stealing the knowledge from you, keeping you dumb and blind. What are you blind about? People coming out trying to drop just a small jewel, just to get you warmed up, just to get you on the right path to make you think. And what do? Because you're not familiar with it, you instantly make fun of it. As if it's something to make fun of. The dude we're looking at right now in this video, exactly what he's doing. He's doing the inverse of what the so-called Indians do on the line. What do I mean by that? You can't tell me, look, back before this, that, and the third, Columbus, the European got here, that we were Kemetic. Hold up. You're going to jump back that far back to Kemetic? What's Kemetic? Oh, it means ancient black. You can't take a word from the 1600s and tell me it was being used 25,000 plus years ago. That's idiotic. That's exactly what this guy's doing with the Giants hat, talking about, look, today someone gives you a flyer about come to this traveling tent church organization because the Reverend Pastor, pulpit operator, deep French fry maker is going to be healing people. You laugh your ass off. You go, yeah, that's a scam. But that's today. Today, you know it's a scam. That wasn't always a scam, fam. Somebody did it for real. And then others, off the strength of the one who could do it for real, said, yeah, I'm going to get this guy by saying the same thing, even though I can't do it. There's the origin of your scam. There's a term for it in old writing. It's montblanc. What? Monteblanc. It's a montblanc. That's a hype man. That's a who comes into town, jumps on top of a bench, and starts saying, come on, hear me now. Check, we have the latest and greatest technology helping to save people from any and all illness. Just lick this frog, give me a couple of shiny coins, and I'll let you see the frog, and you'll be healed of all. That's a charlatan. You know that's a scam. You ever meet the dude who did it for real? If you did it, I highly suggest you shut up. You quiet yourself. Excuse me. I almost lost myself in that comment. I apologize to my brothers on the line.
Oh, you're good, Moor.
And for the mothers listening. For the mothers listening, I apologize. I'm trying to preserve myself. But come on, people. Come on. We're not talking about, you need to break your whole whatever savings, whatever finance, mail it off here because without that finance, we won't be, nobody's saying that. We're saying don't fall for the BS. Don't fall for the mental programming that you call Canaanland vision. Follow your own heart. We point you to the actual annals that would show you without a shadow of a doubt who you are. And if I hear one more so-called gangster out of so-called Chicago, Mecca, talking yes, that, and the third about Mexicans don't do this or blacks don't do that, y'all both need to shut the F up. No disrespect, but you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because if you can Google in 1621, Montezuma's headdress is cataloged as a Moorish hat by European, modern day European, mind you, not another Moor, but a modern day European. How you gonna tell me so-called Mexicans, so-called blacks are different? You ever been to so-called Mexico? I suggest you cross the border. You might find something real interesting. People as dark as you standing right there. Maybe not even speaking a word of English. And why should they? It's not even English we're speaking. It's old high German. They're speaking Spanish because it's closer to the actual language of their ancestors. Latin, Moorish Latin. Hell is your problem? What's missing? What are you not connecting? What is the failure in your mind holding you back? Oh, I forgot. You put 15 years in at that corporate slave job and you got your 409k stacked there. Guess what? This form, you can move it. Oh, but I owe back taxes to the IRS. Guess what? You know what stores I'm seeing close after this whole pandemic? All those tax preparer places. I don't see tax preparers like the Liberty, this and tax cut. I don't see those. You know what I see? For rent. You starting to get it yet? Constitutional money. Gold, silver, coin. You've never been paid that. So how do you owe somebody? Now think about that. You hear more say it, and those boys that do, if you don't give them a full-on dissertation with slides and full-blown all out, somebody gonna walk up and play you like a Prince Hall Mason. Talking about, that's a charlatan. That person don't know. That's a cult follower. That's just someone who came out of nowhere yesterday. Yeah, okay. Keep thinking that. How many more has been posting receipts with zero taxes paid? Huh? You've seen the videos. Those ain't get pulled down yet. Jamal got 3-4 of them for I don't know how many years ago. What's the issue? What's the slowdown? What's your problem? What's keeping you from jumping off the proverbial cliff? I gotta make sure I know. Well, let me tell you another thing. Anybody, and I don't care, even anyone who comes onto this platform say I know all Moorish history, you can guarantee they are lying. I'm not saying they don't know some. I'm not saying that the part that they do know isn't vast. I'm saying it's impossible to know all Moorish history. Because that means you know all the history of the planet since the beginning of time. And there was never a time where there was no time. Study. The study to get out. It doesn't mean you study to go throw on a flag, stand on a corner, and pretend you're a quote-unquote Hebrew Israelite. I feel for those brothers, not because of what they're doing. Prophet told us keep the Bible, don't throw it away. We're going to be able to use that to reclaim what is yours. I feel sorry for those brothers for that energy they're putting out on the street, screaming at people where they don't know for things that those people haven't done. Because one day, don't know what day, might be the day they bump into me. I don't know, because I've done this in the past. I'll take a copy, always have a copy, of We Are All Moors with me. And I asked them, have you ever heard of a certain person, a certain abbot from the year 1027? Oh, no? You might want to look him up. He was kind of a big deal back then. And he was talking about your so-called people. What he said? No Jew is a Jew. They're just Moors that haven't learned yet. And I paraphrase him. That's quoted on the top of chapter 3.
Islam.
I hear the floor.
And that's where it's supposed to be at. You know, our people coming to a certain realization about who we are and knowing that without a shadow of a doubt. As soon as you have doubt, we're already going to be in issues.
Islam. One thing I wanted to say. I wanted to finish the thought. I'm sorry, I didn't finish the thought.
Oh, it's all good, Moor.
I got sidetracked. The whole thing about people not wanting to talk about Christopher Columbus and the ADOS and the so-called Black Indigenous, so-called Black Indian, whatever, Latinx. We forget to throw these people in. Those are all people of color. You call yourself person of color, you're fake. You don't talk about Christopher Columbus from that perspective for the simple reason that Christopher Columbus' story, he never set land on the mainland. He landed on the so-called island of Haiti. So if you got to get into that conversation and you're talking about a so-called federally recognized holiday, in the so-called, to put it in, I'm going to meet them where the people are at, I believe is what Brother Yusuf said that people were doing. So I'm going to meet you where you're at. In your so-called country called America, because you're too stupid to realize America's a continent, not a country. But okay, I'm going to go where you at. You can't talk about America as a country is great this or that. Make America great again and celebrate Columbus. Because he would have needed a green card to come over here to see your dumb ass. Ask Sammy Sosa. Go ask Sammy Sosa. You know the dark-skinned brother that's whiter than the polar bear now? Yeah. You got to get a green card to come from that to this land. Oh, wait, what? But hold on. The guy that you just celebrated for discovering your country never set foot where you at if you're on the continent of 48. He landed on an island that you need a green card to come visit or come for whatever. Someone else's permission. That right there becomes an uncomfortable conversation for some people. Looking at you, Ackman Avenue. Looking at you, 178th Street, West Side. All the way down to 151st West Side. Okay. Whatever. Y'all can keep rolling the way you want to roll. Keep acting like a person of color. See what you get out of the so-called legal system. What you're going to get, you to close your eyes. Tell me what you see. Nothing? That's exactly what you're getting. That's exactly what you got. Same as there's no so-called Indian treaty that's been upheld, that's been honored. How dare you ask which Indian treaty's been honored? There's no honor in calling yourself a name that some other organization created for you, to belittle you, to rob you of what your ancestors created. for all times to come. That's what you're walking away from. That's what you're following behind your T.I., Killer Mike, P. Diddy, and whatever else entertainment, sports, whatever distraction they put out. You're busy following how many baskets go in. You're busy following how many touchdowns, how many yards can be ran. But you don't even see the game that's been run on you. You're going to hear history from these quote-unquote federal service corporations, executive management team. As you might know, that I hear they're competing to see who's going to run the natives. And don't get it twisted. Native just means native. Means you born did you pop out of your mother on this rock? Then okay, you can stay here. That's all native means. So when you say Native American, you're not talking about no Tonto. You're talking about anyone and everyone who came out their mother on this land. Now, the question is, do you think this land sits between a place called Canada and Mexico, or do you know America is made up of North, Central, South, and the adjoining islands? Another uncomfortable conversation at the border? Yep. But these issues won't get resolved on their own or with a handful of competent, intelligent Moors who bothered to invest the time in themselves and their families, their prodigies, by learning where they truly come from. It don't come there. You need to, for yourself, find this information. We point you to books to read, not so that you can take the page or the full book and turn pages as quickly as you can with skipping paragraphs or just slightly glancing. No, that's not reading. That's skimming. Reading, like mentally digesting, is the same as eating. You don't look over your kitchen table or the dining room table when the bit spread's laid out and go, ooh, that all looks so good. I looked at every single plate. I'm done. No. You sit your happy ass down. You're pleasurable with your others there at the table. You serve yourself a plate or someone serves a plate for you. You sit down and you savor it. You enjoy each course. That's what you're supposed to do with your reading. Savor it. Take the book. Don't just look up the one or two words you may not be familiar with. If there is a person in that annal that is named, now, before you continue on in your book, do a brief little research job on that name. See what else is out there. Then continue on in your book. Because if I tell you Joe Schmo Blow, you have no idea who that is. But then you go research him, and you find out, oh, wait a minute, that was the shoeless baseball player, and that's where this comes from, and that's where that comes from. Okay, you get a little more insight before you return back to your annals and your study. See how that worked? You can look at, actually, I just saw a television show that they put on one of these streaming services. I think it was Netflix. It's called La Révolution. It's a French 8 episodes about the French Revolution. Episode 1 opens up in 1789. I'm not going to give away the whole thing. You know the story about, whether you know about the French Revolution or not. This is not a historical drama piece. It's sci-fi entertainment, so they say. So that means they know they're going to show you more of the truth than you know. The opening scene, some little girl is tossed down a big stone well. When I say big, this thing is big enough to drop a full-size SUV, at least 5 stories down. She hits, knocks herself out, wakes up shortly after, looks around the cave that she in, finds a door that leads to sunlight, sunshine. She knows it's the exit. The door is found it and locked. On the door is a cutout sigil. A sigil, you call it, I call it a neon. You call it a cross. That cross is cut out as empty space on the door. You see the character's face, and all of a sudden you hear the creepy music. She goes from reaching and scratching to get yanked back in and gone. That starts the series. The young girl's name, it was a European actress, modern day European actress. Young girl's name in there was Rebecca. Most people would just be like, wow, they really like Rebecca in these shows. But then you study a little, and you might find out someone named Mataoka, right? My Indian pals, who's Mataoka? This hurt her memory, Nicola Pocahontas, in my presence. See what happens. See what happens. Come on, Danto. Ready for you. They tell you your own history, mind you, with really bad casting directors or casting agents hiring the wrong actors to play the wrong parts. 1789, girl named Rebecca, she goes missing. Next thing you know, it's the French Revolution. And the nobles, so-called nobles, the Europeans, modern day, who took the titles of nobility. You got to do your own research to find out how that came about. It's really good research. So I'll tell you that. Got plenty of books I can tell you where you can see the Moors may have brought in a modern day European into their family for some exemplary act of valor that they did, which is great, because that one modern day European earned it. But you don't know his or her bloodline. You don't know what that modern day European's prodigy is going to do after. Why do I say it this way? Ask the Kingdom of Hawaii. They'll tell you they didn't get robbed by gunpoint. They didn't get robbed just by this, that, or the third conventional means. They got robbed by a trick. What was the trick? A dirty ambassador who was down with the modern day European planters and had a warship docked at Pearl Harbor, kicking the door of Iolani's palace while the queen's doing her celebratory thing, believe it was a wedding, and tell her, yo, warship's there, the guns are pointed here, you only have 200 so-called cops, constables on patrol with barely a gun, a six-shooter each. We have a weapon of mass destruction parked, docked, moored at your dock, trained at you. Not that supposedly the ship wasn't going to attack. Supposedly that was just a ruse coming from the ambassador. And thankfully, someone of Nepalese and mixed heritage saved all the paperwork and communications of the actual day. And the reason why the so-called Federal Service Corporation could not address this at The Hague to Dr. Keanu Sai, because he had the actual physical handwritten note of the ambassador talking up this whole scheme with the planters, 14 of them, or 13 of them. That number keeps coming up, not my fault, don't blame me, I'm just a messenger, I wasn't there. I'm just telling you what it was that's verifiable and provable. Next thing we know, they're going to, state of Hawaii, going to The Hague, pins the Federal Service Corporation into a corner. Next thing we know, a magic flu comes out and people get sick and the world needs to shut down. Okay. It's just that. None of this is related, I'm sure. Yep. And it is just the flu. I'm sure there's nothing else going on. And if you believe that, I'm pretty sure I can sell you a bridge out in the Mojave. When are you going to see it? It's all distractions. People want to talk about Nasera Jacera. Do you know where that comes out from? Do you know that was farmers from the 1960s? They're going to give you that history. They're going to give you the history. They're going to give you the history on 9/11. They're even going to give you the history on JFK. They'll stop there. The assassination. Oh, in case you didn't know, JFK got taken out by his VP, LBJ. And some others. Others. People with cash that whose names you don't know. But those today you may. Think about it though. Those people with cash, those are the freaking grandchildren and great-grandchildren of those that pulled the original coup, that were part of secret societies then. What secret coup? But it is. What are you talking about? Yeah, Lincoln. When he got assassinated, it wasn't just because no free slave this or no free slave that. While he was president, he didn't say jack about so-called slavery. Don't believe the hype. The reason why he got put on a copper penny facing the wrong way was from 10 years before he took office, when he was just an attorney. And really, he was a lawyer. He wasn't an attorney. Figure out the difference. Look up the words. I ain't telling you. He was a lawyer who took the case of a Moor and won on Moorish rights. Saying, yo, he's not a Negro. You can't, these Negro laws don't apply to him. He's a Moor. Everybody knows it. So the love of God is from Portugal. And everybody today, yeah, we know. All right, let it go. But they're not going to tell you that. So you keep on following about who shaking butt this and who shot this white person in the foot that and all that other crap. But it's only keeping you from knowing that the crap that they're saying are signs and symbols of nefarious, satanic, blood-drinking pedophiles. They're not telling you those emblems are yours. Oh, they did the same thing in World War II. You call it a swastika and you pick Nazi because it's standing on his edge. But I talked to my Hindustani brother, and he's like, man, that's on my car right now. In turmeric, written in spice, by his high holy whoever from Temple, which is all good. He got defensive when I called him out on it. I was like, hey, what the hell you got on your dashboard, bruh? On your brand new little Tesla 3. He said, oh, no, my bad, I don't know. You see, I said, well, I'm like, stop. You call that swastika, others do too. But I know that's a lot of bell and cross. Written in stone. Way before you guys started rocking. Way before freaking some short little European failed artist out of Austria or whatever started walking around duck walking, goose walking or whatever. Way before that. You gonna let that go? It only means the four corners, the four seasons, the four winds. Also, if you look at the Big Dipper, take a mental picture or take an actual picture of it on each equinox, you might find something. You'll find out that the so-called swastika, the so-called lalabellan cross, makes each of the four quadrants per season. Ooh, was that so deep? Did I have to do a 15-hour lead up to it? Or did I just tell you? Now, because I told you this, you're a silly person may walk out the street going, I'm rocking a swastika. Heil Hitler. Stop. Hitler ain't have shit to do with that. He had crap to do with that at the 1940s. But he wasn't there 25,000 years ago in Abyssinia. He wasn't there. I was about to say Ethiopia like an idiot. That's another thing. If you want to talk about the lands over there, Mother Africa, and all this, why don't you find out who the hell came up with the names? Because I see a lot of crap going around about SARS. And I'm like, SARS? Where the hell? Who got a respiratory illness? Couldn't come to find out SARS is an acronym for some type of police action out of some so-called Nigeria, where they're swatting their own peoples. Okay, well, stop calling it Nigeria, for one, because Diane Flores named you Nigeria in the 1800s, not no millions of years ago, and this ain't hidden. Google for the, or go to DuckDuckGo or whatever the heck you use and search who came up with the name Nigeria. You'll get the photo of her, find out her husband was the substitute bey, which you use the term governor. What? Yeah, so beys, your governors, be your actual bey. Don't be a governor. Don't be a warden. This ain't an open air prison. But people are complaining that they're living in one. But don't realize, yeah, you're living in it because you're calling it. What was Nigeria called before? Call it that. Put that on your news or put that in your streams. And any of these modern day European politicians that say people of color, you gen check them right there and then. Don't let them finish the sentence. Because you go to any Black Law dictionary, they tell you that's a fictional people. Not only is it fictional people, there is no court of this land that must respect the rights of any so-called color because it doesn't exist. That's how you got played. Blacks, whites, there's no such thing. Those are legal statuses. That's it. That's like saying I'm a swimmer or a non-swimmer, but because I'm a swimmer, I'm a god. Okay. Let's see you swim during a tsunami, mofo. You know, raise the water, drop the water, do something. Show me you a god. Just saying it don't make it so. But you want to keep following like that is. And then get mad when somebody calls you out and says, prove it, do it. Show me where you Nigerian. Show me where you Black Tontos. And don't get it twisted. No one is saying you cannot practice whatever practice you were practicing, whatever customs, traditions you were practicing. Because even though that got tainted, confused, and altered, it came from somewhere. And those people that it came from, they will have a closer relation to those of us who were here than those of us today. So nobody's saying you can't walk around in your moccasins, feathered up, beat it up, 2 plates out of each head if you want to. Go on with your bad self. Do it. Be proud of it. What we're saying is, don't walk around so full of yourself without actually doing the work, without actually studying. Because it wasn't just one people's here. There were people. The word people's plural. Okay? There are multiple types of peoples here. But the multiple types knew where they came from. And more importantly, they knew where they were at. And because they knew where they were at, they knew what powers that be they had to comply with. You don't. You're being told that there's a power called federal government, state government, local government, municipality, county. But you don't even know where that comes from. That's just the way it's been. They keep following their sheep. Because eventually spring comes. You know what that means? Time for the slaughter. Because the new sheep are coming in. be food. Enrich someone else's mind. Help them to see themselves, not by forcing it and getting on the grandstand and pulpitting. Leave that crap to the Creflo Dollars. Let them rock that on their jets or whatever. Remember, karma is hell, but dharma is even worse. That jet gonna fall out of the sky one day. Might land on somebody's house too. I don't know. Not wishing it, wish no harm on no one. But what I am saying, I'll give you an example. I was at a client site not too long ago in so-called Silicon Valley. For those who don't, San Jose, California, okay, Khalifa territory. The cafeteria of the entity I was working at was pretty much dominated by so-called Mexicans. Lovely young lady, lovely young mother. She worked the cashier. We spark up a conversation, waiting for the cards to do whatever. They have their own internal system to track who does what eats who, so they can bill it to the right whoever's. Okay, no problem. While we're waiting, I start a conversation of, this your job? This is what you're going to do forever? No. She tells me she's planning on going to school, wants to get into medicine, this, that, and the third. Her biggest dream is to one day take the Hippocratic Oath. I said, oh, you want to pledge an oath? She's like, yeah, people in the medical profession got pledged this oath, do no harm, this, that, and that. Stop. I know what the Hippocratic Oath is. But I asked her, do you know who the father of modern day medicine is? And if you tell me Hippocrates, you'll be wrong. Because he's more late day. What? That week, every day I went down, I brought a little picture on my phone. Showed it to her every time I checked out. This is Amen Ra. Here's what you see on the side of an ambulance, that staff with a circle, and they got a snake coiled up, growing up it. Here's where that symbol originates from. Came from us. Her jaw hit the floor. After she picked up her jaw from the floor, she then began to do something that I like to call the celebratory dance. That's the jumping up and dancing to yourself and giggling like you're a little school kid. This is a grown-ass person. And I asked her, I said, where is this coming from? She's like, you don't understand. I need to bring you home. And I'm like, whoa, wait, slow down. That's not what this type of party is. my consort may not like that. She went naked. No, not that type. She's like, I need you to speak to my parents. Show them this for me. Because if I try to say half of the stuff that you're telling me, and she's like, most of the stuff you tell me, I did not know. She's like, they flip out. They're like, that can't be. Because that's how far gone they are. That's why the prophet said, this is for the young and unborn. It's a blank slate. They have no other reference for that internal battle of, nah, that can't be. They wouldn't. Well, get over it. You've been lied to a lot. A hell of a lot. And it's only maybe 15% that's coming out right now. And I am still a believer that the only reason why they're throwing these sick, keto, blood drinking, whatever the hell they are under the bus is in their way to try, and when I say they, I mean modern day Europeans posing here, is to try to make a potential bridge so that when the day comes up, everything comes out. And when I say everything, I'm not just talking about what they're talking about. I'm talking about all the way back to the coup, all the way back to the assassination and like that. By the way, JFK, he got assassinated because why? He started printing silver dollars, money backed by silver, constitutional stuff. You know, the stuff that the central banks of other nations didn't want us having? Oh, okay. But we can go back to the Magna Carta if you want. 1200, no problem. We can. Don't want to bore most of y'all. But that information coming out is just 10 to 15% of the true history. But once you get that taste, once you see the Gary Webb article from San Jose, who was the journalist who wrote the article that the CIA was bringing in crack cocaine and selling it in Moorish communities, and say it right, whether no black communities, Moorish communities, keep us dumb. Once you find out that his death certificate, it says suicide, but you see the autopsy picture with 2 holes in his head. I'm going to say that again. 2 holes in his head, but that was a self-inflicted suicide. Because, you know, sometimes you're really committed to ending it all just after you bust the intelligence agency, the CIA, found in America, bringing in coca up here. For who? Have fun researching. Don't get stuck on Reagan. He was just sitting in the office. He was a puppet. Somebody else was pulling his strings. You might want to look at his VP who became president thereafter. You might want to find out what Daddy Bush was doing during JFK. Be nice to know to find out that Daddy Bush was the director of who? CIA. Starting to get the picture now? Oh, that's only one small, I say small, but just solving that, tying it to 9/11, tying that to Abraham Lincoln, that right there just brings in Moorish nationality. And that's still not everything that was done. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You want to know what else is on that iceberg and how big it goes? Go research. Come back, tell us. Who the hell am I to be sitting here all day, every day, reading stacks and stacks of books to report back to you, to go then say to your boy, yo, check this out. Ain't that interesting? And do nothing more with it. Nothing more with it. That's why I've been quiet. That's why I've been quiet for all this time. I'm not giving more ammo to Tonto engines or ADOS to misconstrued because it comes from a periodical that was still rolling with the misnomers of the day. So you want to complain and riff and do all this about the word Negro, but we got J.A. Rogers. What's that say on the cover? Don't say more, because he's using the phraseology of the time that he could use. But then you get into past that cover and you start reading those facts, things become a little more evident. And you see that he was being held at using that word for those printings of those copies here. But don't get it twisted. A lot of books written before the 1850s, if you get them from a trust, from a university's trust, what is he talking about? Oh, you ain't know? Your trust that you're so keen on trying to, I got my trust, I got it signed, I got to get it witnessed. You ain't know that those valuables can then be willed off and potentially they wind up at these mass universities? Yeah, they don't put a sign about it. They don't put an easy name on it. You got to find them though. And then when you do find them, you come to find out that the funds that were there were liquidated in the form of buying access to old annals, taking digital pictures so that you have a digital copy available for free of these masterpieces that cost 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, 200 millions of dollars. Why? You go to Amazon to try to buy it. The easiest way for me to stop you, dumb nigger, from getting this knowledge, I'm going to put a price tag of $18,000. I'll let you know who you are, but you're giving me 18,000 so-called dollars. You're not buying that. Best believe it's not going to be in the preview. You're going to see crap that has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. But then when you actually get the book, if you can find a trust, connect to it, see the digital scan, and read page by page. Mind you, I hope you know how to read in script. Mind you, I hope you know that in those days when those typeset machines, if they didn't have an extra letter S, they used the letter F as in Frank. So when you see the word PROFFESS, they're not talking profess. They might be talking process. Also helpful to know that the people that have writing, they just got into language. So their spellings may not be 100% accurate. Why? They're working phonetically. Ooh, phonetics, phonics, phoenix, Phoenicians. Yeah. By the sound, the vibration. But you lose that if you don't do additional background study. You come to us and say, y'all Moors are all wrong. You don't spell America AMERICASAMEROKK with the 3 dots on top. Bro, you don't know that Dutch motherfuckers came here too? Go look at their language. They're infamous with those double dots and dots over there at the house. Starting to see it now? You look, check your sources. I don't care if the name of the author was Chief running bear down the street with 2 freaking gazelles coming out of coconuts. Don't matter. Look how he writes. Because now you know who taught him. Or you know who they're pretending, who they really are by the way they write and who they're pretending to be. See how this works? Okay. I'm sorry, Brad. I didn't mean to come off.
Oh, it's a lot more. Sometimes you got to get it out. Sometimes you got to.
Yep. No.
How many more days of the stupidity do we have to hear? How many more politicians got to get on whatever freaking news channel after one of us dies in the street worse than a dog and listen to this same stupid shit like a person of color was assaulted and it ended negatively. No, your armed mercenary killed another Moor, a human, on national, international television. And you're telling me $4, $6, a million pieces of paper that say I owe you is the value of that human life? That's going to raise a son. That's going to be there for aging parents. That this is a script. No. It's to placate you. To put you back in your place. To say, shut up. Go with the plan. And what do? Oh, I'm going to talk again. Just not right now. I'm going to talk again. Little Friday mother. And stop.
Islam. Needed that. We needed that one. Everybody needed that one. Everybody needed that one. I don't even have nothing after that.
Yep. The elder went in.
What the just happened? We just got back. We just, when you touch something you're not supposed to touch, just like the show. You touched the cross and then you went through the thing.
Yeah.
We just came out.
Yep.
We just came back. Fell through the wall, landed in the damn living room. Like, what the hell just happened? Where do we go?
Came through and smashed him, man.
Yo. That is.
Where did he drop?
No, he's there still. He's not though.
Okay.
He got it all out.
Because it's the same thing how I was saying earlier. That's why I was so frustrated.
It's all good, boy. It is all good. There's no takeover. This is what had to be said today. Because, trust me, this is what has to be said today.
I don't know who needed to hear that. I'm hoping that the person does when they do, and it helps them make a life abandonment decision that they at least come back. You ain't got to call me. Call the Grand Edgy. Just say thank you. Give thanks. That's it. Leave it at that. You ain't even got to tell us the story. Just give thanks. Keep it moving. Because we ain't done. There is no finish line.
Right.
People act like once I can enter an airport and get on a plane and fly over here to this other international land and come back, it's all gravy. No, homie. Now that once that's accomplished, which it already has, once that's fully accomplished and implemented around the planet, that's when your work starts. What's the work? Being you, being what the rest of the planet has followed for eons. Living up to being that true transcender. Not that. And I'm going to teach you how to Dougie next week. No, that's cool. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. But there's so much more that we're capable of. There's so much more that we've done. And then, better yet, there's even so much more that you haven't done, that you will, that the world will then give you thanks.
Oh, shit.
Peace.
Then will come and do greater work than I did. Who am I? Nothing. Every man is to be themselves a priest, which is really be a Christ within. Islam, brother Yusuf, you got anything to throw in there? Because that was
that was a hoax smasher.
Yeah.
He killed everything. Every time I wanted to bring something up, not only did he cover it, he had an example for it to cover what he was bringing up, and I was like, man, he's killing everything.
Killing everything. Nothing lives. Somebody just hit the thing. Let's see what's good. Peace,
family. Yeah.
What's good, yo? We're out here. What's going on?
Yeah. So I haven't been watching or listening from the beginning. I kind of caught the part where you're reviewing the video with that guy with the masonry flag.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure like what the context was, but I just wanted to add something if I could.
Well, go right ahead, Moor.
Okay, so I saw the flag that he was flying, and I kind of heard what you guys were saying, so I had to get my dictionary of Freemasonry for reference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we just want to kind of, because these devils they speak in codes, in codified language, right? And so if you don't really know how to look for the codes, you won't really know the clues that they put out there, right?
Right.
So Masonry is a Moorish science, right? And all of these so-called Freemason lodges right now are actors in a play, right? Okay, so in the dictionary of Freemasonry, Robert McAvoy is the author. Okay, I'm just gonna find what I want to reference. Right? They make reference to. One moment, please.
Yeah, you take your time, Moor. You're good.
Okay.
That's what it's about. Reference points. They can't say blame the Moors. Don't debate us. Go debate the author.
Right. So we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him a source to look up. Right. Oh gosh. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the pages here. Okay.
Oh, you straight, yo. You straight.
So I just want to quote this quick passage from the Dictionary of Freemasonry, author Robert McAvoy, right? And so they're talking about the origins. And so this particular portion right here, it speaks about the African master builders. And so we know that when they use the word African, right, they're using the word Moor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and I state, a secret society with a Masonic form which came into being about the year 1756 and ceased to exist in 1786. They professed to be devoted to the discovery of truth and the cultivation of virtue, and was a very worthy and respectable order. They set forth that, now this is what this order is proclaiming, right? And I quote, when the architects were by wars reduced to a very small number, they determined to travel together into Europe and there to form together new establishments. Okay, you follow still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Many of them came to England with Prince Edward, son of Henry III, and were shortly afterwards called into Scotland by Lord Stuart. Their installation in this kingdom falls about the Masonic year 2307. They received the protection of the King of Sweden in 1125, the protection of the King of England in 1190, and of Alexander III of Scotland in 1284. They were 5 initiations into their apprentice degrees. Number 1, the apprentice to the Egyptian secret, Menes Muse, right? Number 2, the initiation into the Egyptian secret. Number 3, the cosmopolite. Number 4, the Christian philosopher. And number 5, the lover of truth. The higher degrees followed these, of which there were 3. They had chapters whose officers were chosen for life, right? So now that these architects that they're calling, right, that they're saying came into Europe at around 1125, these architects came into Europe, what is that? About 700 years, 600 years, give or take, before the establishment of any so-called European lodge associated with Masonry, right? So I just wanted to add that into the discussion, because if we're gonna be talking about things, we gotta approach it from a a factual standpoint, right? And not just
Most definite.
Right. So I just wanted to add that, and I respect and give thanks for the build, my brother.
Give thanks, Moor. Good build, yo.
Peace. All right, peace.
My reference points. That's what it's about. Islam, brother Menelik.
Islam,
Moor.
Islam. Yeah, you can hear me, Moor?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right, Islam. Peace to everybody on the platform.
You already know.
That's what's good, Moor, as well. I came in and I was listening to the chat today, and I hear all this bull crap that's going on in the chat, as far as these sleepy-headed Moors keep talking smack, some of they Sabian and this, that, and the third. But they don't want to accept the fact that they are Moors. They'll say they Sabian. These are the so-called Ethiopians, which they are from and they are from not Ethiopia, but it's Abyssinia. So they don't know anything. They want to get up here and call us a social group and this, that, and the third. But we're talking about primogeniture and bloodline here and pedigree here. So when we get into our bloodline and when we get into the information on facts, that is what's going on. That's the real deal. We talking about lawful, and we claiming our nationality, blood pedigree, and everything. I know I haven't been on here for a while, but for us to regain our nationality, we have to be politically organized, period, and on a united front.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody want to try to talk crazy or anything like that, Moors are studied up. So we just want to make it clear, and we want to put it on the record to let people know that when they try to come on our platform and try to doubt what the Moors are saying, they're not even qualified to even come to rebut or even say anything, because they're not even on the hadiths that we are on.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have sanguineous adjective characterized by slaughter 16 zeros, possibly from friend sanguiner, or directly from Latin sanguinis, pertaining to blood, from sanguinis to genitively to sanguive to adjective, blood red, late 14th century, late 12th century as a surname. So we're letting you know by blood pedigree that we are royal and we are indigenous, aboriginal to all the land, not just to Morocco.
Not just to Morocco.
Not just to Morocco. See, that's what a lot of people don't understand. They think that Moors just be claiming Morocco and this, that, and the third, but we already understand and understand that Morocco was put over there in 1956 to usurp our nationality and birthrights. Now, the people that's already claiming to be Moors or claiming to be this, that, and the third, they already usurp our nationality to a certain degree because we are at the bottom of the at the podium right now. So for everything to work in their favor, they have to say that they are the rulers of the land and this, that, and the third, and they are the white people, which we already know those are all statuses.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't got anything to do with nothing else. When you're dealing with human beings, not artificial constructs or artificial colors or artificial people, which they already aligned us into that by us accepting these contracts, that we don't even have any privy of the knowledge on the contracts until we find out, okay, that's how we are being subjugated and put into slavery because we are doing things not knowing. So anything from that point in perspective, as far as us knowing who we are, that's just the over well, how can I say that? This is the overwhelm understanding of what your bloodline is. And we have all of us have conversations with certain people that would love to come and challenge and try to stop us from putting this information out, because the prophet said, get the information and spread it 4 corners of the world, not to be passive, not to be sitting back with this information and not to be active with this information. You have Moors that come trying to knock other Moors off of getting the information because they're trying to rule over them. So we have a lot of dirty Moors in certain positions that don't need to be there. Just like I was doing some research yesterday and the day before, and I seen Moors, dirty Moors now, using RV Bay publication to put packages together and try to sell them like they're on their own packages. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, who the hell? Why the hell these dirty ass Moors is doing this? And I figured it out that these are the Moors that wanna try to come and misappropriate and disfranchise new Moors that's coming in. You see, this is the whole game. The whole game is to run amok and to discredit Moors, to discredit our whole movement. So it won't get no more how can I say more spread. They want to try to contain it. Then they want to throw real Moors off and try to give them different information and say, no, the prophet didn't bring this, when we already know, if you're studious and you know what you're studying, what you're looking up and you're reading it, you already know that these Moors are lying. Mm-hmm. So, when we looking at certain things and certain aspects, let me find that name, because I wrote down that dirty Moor's name. I want to put him out. I want to put him out on blast. Hold up. Let me find it. Because these dirty Moors, they going crazy. Okay, his name was Muhammad Mbutu Bey. You ever heard of that Moor?
No.
Well, he probably gonna change his name anyway. But I'm just had to put that name out there because that's what he was doing with the website. They was making up fraudulent nationality cards with barcodes on it, and they was doing all type of stuff. More like this stuff here will make you upset
No, they're playing with you right now. They're playing with you. Islam, brother Yusuf.
Oh,
Yeah, too.
oh, Islam, you can hear me.
Oh,
Islam.
actually, no, yeah.
All right, Islam.
They got brother Menelik.
Right. Yo, Grand Sheik, do you see until the brother gets back on? Do you see what's going on in the chat? I haven't seen the chat until the brother mentioned it.
When the
And then
brother mentioned it, I know I was going through it. Yeah,
I was like, oh, I didn't know all that was going on in the chat.
chat's been hot, bro. Chat's been hot.
Yeah. People talking crazy in the chat right now.
Chat was hot. Now what's funny, and what's really funny, is that they're not Moors, but their emperor had a golden fez.
Yo, isn't that amazing?
That's what's crazy. Their emperor had a golden fez. He was called an emperor, but they're not going there. He was called King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and all that, which is really titles of the Christ. But they're talking about he's emperor and all this, and that's it. I thought King of Kings, Lord of Lords is Christ coming in. What happened? What did they forget? How did they just limit him to some emperor position when he's Negus Negas? That's how you say it? That's how you say it? Negus Negas. King of Kings, right? King
Yeah.
of Kings. Islam more.
Islam more. I think I got broke up out of the conversation.
No,
yeah, I already know more.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet. I'm gonna let you talk for a minute more.
Well, it's all good. We were just talking about this more in the chat with the Ethiopian thing. Drew Ali told us that we're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. So we already know that as soon as you say Ethiopian, you're talking about some Greek stuff.
Yeah, and it's separate. It's separate. It says that's Ethiopian talking about dividing. It's the demarcation line.
Demarcation line.
Mm-hmm. Yup. So if they holler Ethiopian, that's just another construct.
Another label.
Another label.
Another slave brand.
Yes, slave brand.
Just like the people who are complaining now, but they've been calling themselves Nigerian.
Right. Another slave brand.
Berlin Conference treatment by their sellout leaders, just like same thing that happened over here. The same thing going on over there right now. Exact same thing. Exact same thing. Some colonizers went there, renamed stuff. These people started running with the fact that they're the colonizer's name, and then the colonizer sends in their agents to go beat their ass or whatever like that. The only difference over there, they can't cry racism. They have a
Isn't
big problem.
Ethiopia a French word? Like, it's not even. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff in this chat.
A lot.
Yo, do they like? They need to get the book called what is it called? The Nexus something, Nexus from I forgot the author's name. But when you go in his book, he'll tell you all that genetic stuff is based off of eugenics that was made from the Carnegie Institution and the Ford in the Ford company or the Ford family or Henry Ford and all of them.
Yeah.
Who they try to blame and say, oh, Hitler did all of that. Nah, that was these people right here that did all of that. The Carnegie Institutions and the Ford Foundation, they put together eugenics, which you call today in 2020 genetics. And it has to do with classification, right? And I'm sitting here giggling because he's literally writing the EB1A. That's classification. That's not a people. a bloodline. That's literally a classification. Like he literally is just putting the classification right there. Like they don't even read. Took Eurocentric thinking and applied it into something that's really doesn't even exist.
It doesn't even exist.
It,
Yeah.
do, it doesn't even exist. There's no such thing as genetics that's based off of eugenics to classify people. To take to for again back to so-called modern Europeans to put themselves into the human family because they don't exist. They have to have make up all of these things. And now you're over here talking about the Hablo group and all of that. I'm like, brother? This stuff is just all Eurocentric made up things to let these people exist. And now you're using it to try to use division, divide and conquer once again, because this guy's a Moor, whoever he is, you know what I'm saying? Like whoever he is, he's a Moor, and he's just here to push the Roman Inquisition platform, because even like you were showing earlier, the pictures of the two uh ladies who were pushing the BIPOC or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at all of them, like, okay, for example, remember when this guy gave the keys to Ferdinand and Isabella?
Yeah.
Like that was a sellout. And
Yeah.
back in 1492, these are the new guys in 2020. These are all of the kings of Al-Andalus that they didn't go to war and lose. They just gave the shit up. They just sold out, and now we're here, like the king's mother, spitting on him. His own mother spit on him. He sold the keys to Isabella and Ferdinand, and his mother spit on him. And that's what's going on right now. Like you getting it right now from your own people, like because that's what's you guys are horrible, pushing Eurocentric thinking because you can just fly home whenever you want and chill. Like you really can't, because you're still getting whatever papers. Especially if you were so-called born from over there, you're using Roman permission to go back and forth. You're not just going back and forth. I know that. I don't go. I go to the airport. I ain't never seen no Ethiopia Airlines in my life. Hey, that ain't coming here. So y'all don't got y'all own nothing. So I don't want to hear that. That ain't coming here. What did y'all? You lying? Like you're using their stuff. And like I said earlier, Ethiopian. That's a French word, right? Like, because I'm pretty sure all this stuff is just still colonization. You got permission. You got green card to be here. You still you're not. That's not real. You slave by paperwork. You knowingly. You slave. Coming on here talking crazy. You're a slave. You better get with Moors and get your situation corrected. Because right now you're a slave in lawfully a slave. Coming on here talking crazy, man.
That's how they do, yo.
E1BA, brother. That's eugenics, you dummy. And then look that up in Black's Law Dictionary. that's not name calling. That's a law term. There's people going, yo, come on, man.
Crazy. But yeah, more. 243. I don't think they need any more than that. I should do them for 4 months. You see them in 4 months.
I'm going back to the garden.
Going back
to the garden. Yo, I'm getting back on the Matrix ship, and I'm going back to the slot, man. I'll see y'all.
back to the pudding. The pudding and
the back to it, man.
Porridge, yo. That's
you
it.
Know it. You know it.
4 weeks. See you in 4 weeks. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide, even all the Moors who really don't know yet, and they're playing games. They got golden fezzes as their profile picture, but they're not Moors. Honors to you for trying. You held on for the whole time. You know what I mean? You're trying.
Yeah. European law, huh? Show me caveman law dictionary. Show me that. I want to see caveman law dictionary. I want to see that.
Straight.
I don't want you to be anything. My Grand Sheik said it the best. I got my nationality. Calms me down every time. I got my nationality. I just don't like the slander coming on here. Go home. Go home, Roger. Go home.
You know where Ethiopia is at.
Well, go home. Why are you on here? Go home.
Straight. But yeah, more.
Give thanks, Grand Sheik.
A good Hulk smash, a good release right there. More got to get some stuff off, or more got a little bit off, and there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Islam to all the Moors, honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali.
Islam.
All the mothers. And give thanks for the Moors being on here. Brother Menelik, Brother Iz, Brother Yusuf. As always, Hulk smash. We're out. Peace and love to all the Moors.
Nah, it's really Yusuf. Islam.
White power.
Yo, white power all day.
White power all day. Islam, boys.
Islam.